Okay, guys, if you've done any imaging and dealt with coma correctors and things like that, I'm sure you've come across, like all of us, to where you need to use these really small little spacers, maybe 2 millimeters or what have you. As you know, what they tend to do, they're so small, it's hard to kind of get around them and get them off. Now I'm running into that right here. You see that little spacer there? That adds about 3 millimeters. Having difficulty getting it off. I've had it for about a week trying to get that off. So here's one of those spacers that, needed to come off. It was an absolute must get off, and tried everything under the sun and wind up putting a pair of channel locks on it with some rubber guard, but it cut through and, marred the hell out of this thing. Yeah, it was just a bear to get off, but thank heaven I got it off and I didn't damage the other end that I needed to have intact. Now, I'm putting this together. This is one of those 533 ZWO color cams, which I'm having a lot of fun with, and I'm sure you are too. And I'm trying to get a filter drawer put in between here. The other night I was using just strictly a hydrogen alpha filter, not the dual band, plain hydrogen alpha filter, 7 nanometers, playing around with it, and this is what I got. Now that represents about 1 hour of data with this camera, and the scope I was using was a Orion F4 imaging Newtonian. But back to what I'm doing this video, in order to prevent that from seizing up, I decided I needed to lubricate it some. But the problem is you don't want to put regular oil in there, like this nasty stuff, because it's going to drip and cause possible stains, and really don't want any of that. So I tried some soap and I tried some wax, but that was totally unsatisfactory, and it left clunks and chunks, which is not a good thing. Well, I do a lot of mountain bike riding, and because where I go is pretty dusty, so in order to lubricate the chain, I use this stuff, Finish Line Dry Bike Lubricant. Well, you know where I'm going with this, guys. A little bit of that on a toothbrush, just like a drop, okay, just a drop. And then you coat the inside and outside of those fine threads with that stuff. You're not going to give it a bath, it's just this little coat. And then when you get that done, the part that you're going to hold on to, you just roll it like that on a piece of cloth, kind of like doing it this way, not having my finger inside the ring. And then you simply apply that in there, and I've got this one ready for this. From there, my coma corrector, because I've also coated the inside here, it's easy to get the coma corrector in. And I found that it goes all the way in, whereas before I was having problems getting it seed, and it started getting that like real tightness, and oh God, if I go any more, I'm going to cinch this down and I'm not going to be able to get it off. So here is the batter coma corrector. The last time I couldn't get it to seed all the way to the collar right here. It just wouldn't go. It'd only go about halfway into the threads, and then it started to squeak. You know that squeak. Watch now. You see how easy that went in? Last time without that, it just wouldn't do it. So you might want to give that a try, guys. Finish Line Dry Bike Lubricant. This is the original, whatever that means. Don't really know. Make sure you keep things clean and you're not, slopping it all around and wiping the excess off. And remember, it's just a slight coating, but man, I'll tell you what, I had done some other configurations with this little guy in there, and I was able to get it off. And I know normally one of these little guys, these guys, right? These nasty little small spacers, man, yeah, they're a bear to get off sometime. Just wanted to pass that along. Clear skies, and I wish you success on your next imaging run. All right.